FAA to seal records of bird strikes. It says the data or information could be misread. Safety experts are upset, and with good reason. The federal government plans to block public access to its records of aircraft and bird collisions, such as the one that forced a U.S. Airways jet to splash down or ditch in New York's Hudson River in January. For what reason? Why? Are they trying to cover up something? The Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, says that the information could mislead the public, and its release could prompt some airports and others not to report incidents, although it's only a voluntary reporting system. The proposal is drawing sharp criticism from bird safety experts and public records advocates. 2 months after a flock of geese shut down or snuffed out an Airbus A320's engines and forced it to ditch in the Hudson River, the FAA has filed a little notice proposal that would bar release of its extensive record of bird collisions dating back to 1990. Why would they do this? Makes no sense at all. Are they afraid of something? Are they trying to cover up something? They don't want to tell the public something? Or, again, is it for their own shortcomings? What are they scared of? I'm flabbergasted, but they don't have to report this, said Lucy Dalglish, Executive Director of the Reporters Committee for Freedom of the Press. The FAA move runs counter to President Obama's efforts to encourage release of government records, said the director, a frequent flyer who wondered after the Hudson River accident just how often birds caused such problems. That sounds like a good question. Why can't the public know? Or is America, the United States, turning into a government of secrecy? Well, why shouldn't the public know? Makes no sense to me. And it's one of the craziest things I've heard of so far. And it's not right. One airline pilot who teaches a course in airport bird management said a string of recent accidents suggests the risk from birds is increasing, and the FAA has not done enough to address the problem. Keeping the information secret is not helping at all, he said. The FAA releases annual summaries of reported collisions with all kinds of wildlife. There were 7,439 collisions in 2007, mostly involving birds, up from 5,872 in the year 2000. That's quite an increase. So now they're going to move to keep that information secret? No, that's not right at all. What's wrong with the airplanes? And there have been quite a few airplane crashes lately. 2 last weekend within 30 minutes of each other. And there were some more before that. Something's going on with the airplanes. So, in its proposed proposed rule change. The FAA said that the wildlife collision reports should receive the same protections as other voluntary reporting systems designed to promote safety. If the information is released, some airports may hesitate to make reports. Well, it's already a voluntary reporting system. It should be mandatory. There's something wrong with this story. The data or information also could produce an inaccurate perception of the risk, the government filing in the Federal Register has said. The U.S. government estimates that only 20% of incidents involving commercial aircraft are even reported under the current system. So actually, the numbers are much higher. What is wrong with the airplanes? In 1999, the National Transportation Safety Board urged the FAA to require that pilots report bird collisions to improve the data. But the agency refused. The public has until April 20th to comment on the FAA proposal. Just make as much information secret as possible. America is supposed to be a government by the people, for the people. It's supposed to be a democracy. What has happened to this country? Something is happening. It's not all good, is it? And something related. Pieces of plane engine hit Brazil houses. Engine pieces from an American plane fell from the sky in Brazil, hitting 22 houses and a car, but sparing residents on the ground this time. Pieces of one of the turbines of the DC-10 fell to the ground in the Amazon jungle town. An Amazon jungle town in northern Brazil. The plane is owned by Miami-based Aero Cargo. Aero Cargo's station manager in Brazil said the plane, with 4 people aboard, was able to continue flying using its 2 other engines. The aircraft apparently encountered engine problems about 5 minutes after takeoff. Or it's like that plane that crashed in the western United States last weekend. It fell into the cemetery. Or it's like the plane, several plane crashes before that. Engine problems. Planes just falling from the sky, or parts of engines. Or it's like the F-22. A day or two ago, $140 million fighter plane. It just fell from the sky. The pilot didn't even have a chance to eject. Will the public ever know the reasons for all these recent plane crashes? What's going on with the airplanes? There is something happening. Why doesn't the American public have the right to know? Why would you keep something like that a secret? Again, what are they trying to hide? And everything is connected that's going on around the world. And there are more and more signs every day, day by day, all around the world, of the end times, transition days. Yes, the transition must come. It must happen. Everything that can change must change. It must change rapidly. And once again, all these things are more signs happening every day, all around.